Now, everyone, tell me something. When was the last time you felt like reality TV was real? Because the recent events on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta may be the most shocking collapse the show has ever witnessed. They claimed it was just another Puerto Rican filming day. However, by the time the cameras stopped rolling, the entire cast was frightened. One man was fighting for his life, and another had been banished from the show, perhaps permanently. Young Jock, you heard correctly. Even Mr. It's Going Down has. Formally banned for allegedly putting Kirk Frost in danger of dying. Was it a brawl, a setup, a badly executed publicity gimmick, or did the producers overdo the drama this time? This isn't simply another Love and Hip Hop plot, but insiders claim that the events of that night were so violent that VH1 had to stop production. Rashida was spotted outside the hospital crying and yelling, "This show went too far." The entire franchise was ruined by this disgrace. Be ready for what I'm going to do. Discovery transforms everything. Before we begin, let's make one thing clear. This isn't your typical hip-hop and romance story. It has nothing to do with who liked whose Instagram post or small talk. Not at all. The events involving Kirk Frost and Young Jock have officially straddled the boundary between pandemonium in real life and reality TV. What was supposed to be a fun reunion episode in Puerto Rico turned into one of the most violent, frightening, and dramatic meltdowns the franchise has ever witnessed. According to a number of on-set sources, a lot of them, honey, that Kirk has been admitted to the hospital, Jock has been barred. And Rashida, let's just say that her breakdown outside. The hospital has everyone wondering if this whole show should even go on. What then did happen? Let's go back. It all began when the Puerto Rico getaway episode was being filmed. The one that the producers hinted at as a cast healing retreat. You know? Yes, exactly. Has anything ever been cured during a Love and Hip Hop healing retreat? It's essentially a signal that someone will cry, fling their hands, and someone will be eliminated from the upcoming season. According to insiders, Jock and Kirk Frost were already at odds long before the cameras were even rolling. Both guys were reportedly vying for control of the plot behind the scenes. Jock believed that producers were ignoring him, giving Kirk and Rashida all the financial and emotional plot points. One source stated it well when he described him as the show's comedy relief. Jock had had enough of being the target of jokes. He desired to be the headline. His request was granted, but not in the manner he had anticipated, according to sources. One scene involved a casual supper intended to put an end to long-standing tension. Kirk began receiving subliminal messages from Jock about money, loyalty, and who actually controls Atlanta. According to reports, Kirk retaliated by calling Jock a washed-up mixtape man. Things were gloomy at that point. After a brief period of stillness, witnesses say Jock got up, knocked over his glass, and lunged across the table. The cameras continued to roll, while crewmen rushed to break it up. Here's the twist, though. This was no ordinary altercation. This actually happened. According to reports, one crew member screamed, "Cut the cameras now!" However, Kirk had already fallen backward and struck his head on the edge of the stage setup when security arrived. The whole eatery fell silent. When Jock realized what had happened, he stood there panting. Kirk remained still. Immediately, paramedics were called. In a frenzy to cover the incident, producers told everyone to turn in their phones. A few minutes later, Rashid showed up in full panic mode, allegedly yelling, "You said this was just TV." Several set members said it was one of the most unsettling scenes they had ever seen on a reality show. It didn't feel like filming anymore, according to one unnamed person. It had the feel of a crime scene. Now that VH1 was VH1, they attempted to keep everything under wraps. However, when half of the cast can't help but post cryptic remarks online, word gets around quickly. Fans began to notice odd conduct at that point. Rashida is sharing emojis of prayer. While Jock went radio silent for days, Carly read a tweet saying, "Lord, protect your soldiers." By the time the incident was reported, TM-style rumor pages had been created. The puzzle was already being pieced together by the internet. Kirk was attacked by Jock. Kirk was admitted to the hospital. Rashida lost her mind. The future of the show was now in jeopardy. However, things become much more suspect at this point. It was more than a week before VH1 issued an official announcement. Nothing, no press releases, no remarks. They seemed to be hoping the scandal would go away. However, it didn't. Rather, fresh leaks of purported producer text exchanges stating, "We can't air that footage," began to surface, and there were legal teams involved. Others said local police escorted Jock off the island. Fans took to social media to demand answers, despite the fact that no formal arrest record has yet been made public. Was there a script? Was it authentic? Is the cast pushed too far by VH1 for ratings? 'Cause, let's face it, hip-hop and love have always dabbled in chaos. However, they may have gone too far this time and won't be able to turn back. According to people close to Jot, he has been going downhill. According to his friends, filmmakers set him up to lose his temper and he feels deceived. According to one purported voicemail that surfaced online, Jock said, "They wanted me to snap." They got what they wanted. Although Jock's team maintains that Kirk's injuries were fabricated for media attention, insiders dispute this. Kirk reportedly had to stay overnight for observation after suffering a serious concussion and a shattered rib. According to reports, Rashida wouldn't leave his bedside. The reality TV community is really outraged over the incident. While some viewers are demanding that VH1 shut down the program completely, others think the network is taking advantage of the suffering and trauma experienced by Black men in order to boost viewership. If that wasn't enough, there are allegations that VH1 may be holding on to the full video of the fight and won't show it because of legal risks. However, it raises a troubling concern if that is the case. What do they wish to conceal? Because, believe me, if the raw video ever escapes, people are having already offered money for it. It might ruin the entire Love and Hip Hop brand in addition to Jock's career. The tale becomes very complicated at that point because, according to insiders, VH1 bosses are split. Some want Jock gone for good, while others fear that a public suspension could spark a reaction. According to reports, Jock's legal team is bracing for the worst since the terms criminal negligence and onset assault are currently making the rounds on entertainment blogs. However, let's first discuss the reactions before delving into the purported legal mess, as the internet's response to this issue has been nothing short of explosive. This is where T's video comes in. Because what actually transpired that night, and who is really to blame for this whole disaster, may be revealed by the released video, the public outbursts, and the startling direct messages between Jock, Kirk, and Rashida. Everyone believed it to be just another exaggeration of hip-hop and love when the reports initially surfaced online. Let's be honest. I mean, to keep us entertained, these same individuals staged breakups, weddings, and unexpected pregnancies. However, this time, even the most doubtful admirers, they were correct when they said, "Nah, something about this one feels different." Unverified video starts to appear online a few days after the Puerto Rico tragedy. Hazy footage that seemed to show Jock and Kirk getting into a furious altercation. Faces were not plainly visible. However, the voices were clearly audible. The sound of chairs, collapsing and screams was followed by Jock yelling, "You've been lying to me for months, Kirk." It dispersed as wildfire. Captions such as "Uncut little fight leaked" were posted on gossip pages. "This one is terrible, everyone." The hashtags #FreeJoe and #PrayerFork were popular within hours. Here, however, everything went from disorganized to blatantly evil. An unnamed crew member said on the blog Relatin Finful that producers were aware of the growing animosity between Kirk and Jock. They supported it. The insider claims that a segment producer spoken to Jock just minutes prior to the scene with the supper. "Tonight, we need genuine energy. Make something viral for us." Take a moment to process that. Peace was not what they wanted. They achieved their goal of anarchy. The insider went on. Jock was at ease before filming. However, he lost his temper when producers continued to bring up the old money dispute between him and Kirk. It wasn't arbitrary. They prodded the bear. If that is accurate, then VH1 essentially set up an emotional bomb and pretended to be astonished when it detonated. Traditional. Meanwhile, the storm's focal point was Rashida's emotional breakdown. Outside Atlanta Medical Center, she was photographed sobbing into her hands as she sobbed. He nearly didn't make it. That film alone went viral, receiving 15 million views in a single day. Fans flooded her comments with heartfelt messages, prayers, and rage at Jock. But just when it looked like the mysterious Twitter account called VH1, whistleblower shared a series of purported screenshots of Jock and a showrunner named T late one night. In the messages, Jock seemed to say, "I told y'all, I didn't want to film that scene." The narrative had been settled with Jock as the villain, but new leaks changed everything. For weeks, Kirk has been making fun of me. The showrunner answered, "Calm down, dude. Go along with it. It's television." According to multiple insiders, if those screenshots are authentic, it indicates that Jock was being dramatized by being emotionally enticed on camera. That is no longer reality TV. It's manipulation. Public sentiment abruptly changed, with fans wondering if Jock was really to blame or merely another pawn in VH1's ratings game. As one viral TikTok put it, they'll exploit trauma and then call it entertainment. Despite this, the H1 declined to respond. And the only official statement came from a generic public relations representative who stated, "We are doing an internal assessment and are aware of the onset altercation." Internal review. Translation: we're lawyering up. But let's talk about the legal mess because, oh baby, it's deep. According to sources close to the Frost family, Rashida originally intended to charge Jock with assault. But the storyline abruptly changed after VH1's lawyers became involved. It seems that producers agreed to pay for Kirk's medical expenses and support his recuperation in exchange for Rashida remaining silent, which is giving hush money. A leaked police report surfaced confirming authorities were called that night, though names were redacted. One officer allegedly noted a male suspect was detained for questioning after a physical altercation at a production. Meanwhile, Jock's team was frantically trying to protect his reputation. His publicist issued a statement denying any intent to harm, claiming Jock acted in self-defense during a heated argument. There was no premeditation or malice. But that defense didn't last long. Site translation: Jock was arrested and quietly freed, which is why he disappeared from social media for about 2 weeks. He didn't post, share, or attend at clubs. His final Instagram caption said, "Sometimes the truth hurts worse than the lie. Hits differently now than it did back then, when fans didn't understand what it meant." This is where things start to become heated. Carly Red, one of Jock's close pals, began to imply that there was more to the story. While live streaming, the internet went crazy when Carly remarked, "Y'all don't even know what they've been hiding. If the truth comes out, it's going to shut down VH1 for real." What is the truth? What did they have to conceal? Then came the most shocking revelation. Kirk's near-death injuries, however, were reportedly less severe than the media reported. According to a purportedly leaked medical report, the hospital footage was inflated for pity, according to some admirers. Others believe that in order to make the narrative more interesting, the H1 released it themselves. In the meantime, the network received a warning from Jock's attorney. "We'll take legal action if offensive material appears on the broadcast." At that point, VH1 subtly removed all of the Puerto Rico episode's promotional materials. It disappeared as if it had never been there. Then came the words that no one had anticipated hearing. Officially, young Jock has been placed on indefinite leave from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. The assertion was clinical, businesslike, and frigid, yet the underlying meaning was obvious. In an attempt to rescue itself, VH1 was slashing Tiz. Fans weren't buying it, though. Every official post had a deluge of comments. You guys set him up. It is necessary to cancel this show. The uncut footage is where the truth is something we deserve. By now, VH1's empire was beginning to fall apart, and what had started out as a single skirmish had escalated into a full-fledged PR catastrophe. But this is hip-hop and love, isn't it? Nothing is ever truly buried. Because a producer leak hit the blogs just when folks believed things couldn't get any worse. An assistant editor allegedly came forward and said that the uncut fight tape was still there, and that it showed something so unsettling that it would immediately ruin several people's careers. They claimed that the video doesn't only depict the altercation. Additionally, it features a scene in which Rashida yells at a producer, "Y'all did this? You pushed them to fight for ratings." Indeed, we are no longer merely discussing a scandal. We are discussing the possibility of a lawsuit. Additionally, as the investigation intensifies, Jock's arrest, Kirk's health, and VH1's silence are set to come together in a way that has the potential to completely upend the reality TV sector. Because when the suspension news broke online, we immediately jumped into the money trail, the fallout, the legal showdown, and the startling rumors that the whole thing was part of a covert production scheme gone awry. Fans were incensed at VH1 as a whole, not just Jock, because this was no longer about a single fight. This concerned the lengths producers will go to in order to increase their ratings, as well as the people they are prepared to ruin in the process. The ensuing timeline resembled a full-length criminal documentary more than a television program. The hashtag #JusticeForJoeSC went viral on Twitter within 48 hours. The edits didn't match the punches. As thousands of fans shared side-by-side recordings comparing the leaked fight footage with TV sequences, the angles of the camera, even the recut reactions made Jock appear to be the aggressor. Look here. When Kirk falls, the background changes. That's too different. Take spliced together. They fake the impact. One YouTuber dissected it frame by frame, stating that single analysis racked up 3 million views in a day. Suddenly, the internet weren't just watching the scandal. They were investigating it. The reports followed. An old VH1 sound, they knew exactly what they were doing, creating emotion to keep viewers interested. An engineer anonymously disclosed an internal email that read, "Ensures scene continuity and maximize emotional response during episode 7 editing." The surprising confirmation by Atlanta police, however, was the real twist. There was more to young Jock's arrest than a straightforward start to miscommunication. A police affidavit that was recently made public claims that Jock was arrested overnight following the brawl. According to the affidavit, the suspect made physical contact. After being verbally provoked, several witnesses attested to earlier tension that was fostered by the production crew. Yes, you heard correctly. The police openly acknowledged that production contributed to the situation getting worse. And this whole thing could turn from messy drama to criminal carelessness if that turns out to be the case. Jock's legal team, meanwhile, worked quickly. His attorney, Monica Reeves, a well-known lawyer in Atlanta, filed a motion requesting that VH1 reveal the full raw tape. "My client will not be the fall guy for a network that thrives on manufactured chaos. We demand transparency," she stated in her statement. Naturally, VH1 chose not to comment. When the temperature is too hot, they always do. However, insiders say they are afraid because the video reveals more than just the fight. It also exposes the events leading up to it. According to rumors, just before the Jock blows up, a producer whispers something to him off camera. Some say it, but no one knows exactly what was spoken, including a Rashida marriage secret that was never revealed. And while everyone was busy discussing Jock's guilt, we came across her. Behind closed doors, Rashida was deteriorating. She hasn't shot a single new scene since the event. According to people close to her who spoke to the Shade Room, according to an insider, Rashid is done. She feels betrayed by everyone. This includes the fans, the producers, and the cast. It has been rumored that she is thinking of quitting the show entirely, which would be disastrous. For VH1, Rashida is Atlanta's love and hip-hop. It's a show without a spine, without her. The storyline intensifies at this point, though. right as Rashida started to distance herself from the project. The state of Kirk Frost's health took an odd turn. Initially, doctors diagnosed him with mild brain injuries and a concussion. But more recent reports point to a more serious condition. According to a leaked hospital note, he experienced unanticipated neurological issues. According to some admirers, the injury was made worse by the production's decision to postpone medical assistance in order to continue filming. If that's the case, VH1 might be dealing with more than just legal action. We are discussing criminal responsibility. Finally, in the midst of all of this confusion, Jock spoke up. On Instagram, he shared a single black and white video. There is no music or captions, just a Jock sitting in his car with red eyes and a trembling voice, saying, "You guys don't know the half? They told me to turn up for TV and to play along. Now I'm the monster." The internet was rocked by that video. Millions of comments poured in, some heartbreaking, some angry, but all expressing the same sentiment. We want the truth. Yet the rarest thing of all is truth on reality TV, because VH1 executives were rushing behind the scenes. Sponsors started to withdraw. A well-known company that had recently inked a multi-million-dollar contract for the upcoming season halted operations while an inquiry was conducted. Production meetings were poisonous and paranoid, according to insiders. With producers whipping up emails and to hide their tracks, they use footage drives, as if to conceal evidence. One crew member even said that the whole editing department of the show was shut out of the system overnight. In the meantime, this was being devoured by blogs. Everywhere, headlines cried out. Following the Kirk Frost controversy, VH1 is being investigated. According to leaked emails, producers stage a fight scene. A renowned lawyer is hired by young Jock to sue the network for $10 million. Indeed, it is correct. According to reports, Jock sued the network for $10 million for mental distress and defamation. Distress, his attorney issued another statement stating, "This was never about fame. It's about justice for an artist exploited for entertainment." Fans started comparing Jock's situation to other reality stars who've spoken out against manipulation, like Nene Leakes, Tamar Braxton, and Joline Hernandez. It's almost like VH1's entire empire is built on pain. But the most chilling rumor came from inside VH1 itself. A junior producer allegedly confessed that executives had a crisis meeting where one of them said, "We can't let this leak a video. We're done if it does. Completed." They chose that word because, apparently, the video doesn't just show Jock snapping. It also shows how they forced him there. Thousands of people have signed the hashtag Release the Tape petition, and even some cast members are subtly liking the posts. But VH1 is utterly silent, and that silence says a lot. Doso, as the world waits for answers. One question reverberates louder than ever before. Was young Jock the villain they painted him as, or the victim of a network? Because the truth becomes dangerous when a reality show becomes a real-life crime scene. When the drama stops being scripted and starts being orchestrated. And right now, VH1 is sitting on a bomb. If that footage leaks, if we ever see what really happened that night, it won't just destroy a show. It will expose an entire system built on exploitation, pain, and fake storylines that ruin real lives. So, what do you think actually happened that night? Was Jock really out of control, or was he set up by the same producers who built their empire off other people's chaos? Because one thing is for sure, even though the cameras may have stopped rolling, this story is far from over. Regardless of which side you're on, one thing is certain. Love and Hip Hop Atlanta will never be the same after this. Lawsuit, the cover-up hits, all just getting started. If those leaked clips ever make it online, the H1 will lose not just a show, but their entire reputation. What do you think? Was Jock framed, or did he finally lose it under pressure? If you're tired of fake reality, hit the like button. And if you want to hear the leaked phone call that purports to show that producers told him to up the drama, leave a comment for the next video. Stay tuned, because the next revelation could spell the end of love, and hip-hop will always be around. Hop will always be around.